Ready.
Well, have you ever heard it said that when one door closes, another one opens? Or that some good things can come from a bad situation? Well, such was the case for Viola Kastner. She was born in the 1950s and raised in East Germany, and part of her job for the government was to verify claims that people made on estates. But when she was only 50 years old, she came down with a disability with a spinal condition, and she couldn't work any longer. You can imagine how devastated this was for her. Viola never knew her grandfather. He lived in West Germany and died before Germany was united in 1990. Her grandfather had one sibling of the same parents, an older brother, Gustav, who came to the United States in 1911 when he was 16. She'd always wondered what happened to him, so using some of the tools and skills that she had developed with her job, she started researching her ancestors and put together a family tree. Eventually, in 2007, she made contact with the only living son of Gustav, who lived in central Illinois. They corresponded several times, they talked on the phone, they sent pictures back and forth. Viola was more than happy that she finally had the story of her great uncle Gustav. But that's not the end of the story. In 2008, I lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin. My oldest son was studying at the Institute of Technology in Vienna, Austria, and my oldest daughter worked for Delta Airlines, which gave me flight benefits. The stars were aligned, so I decided to take my 15-year-old daughter to visit my son in Vienna for spring break. Just a few months before we were to leave, I spoke to my uncle in Illinois, and he said, one of our relatives from Germany contacted me, maybe you should look her up. Well, after a few weeks of email correspondence, Molly and I were on our way to Frankfurt, Germany to meet my second cousin, Viola. My son also met us there. And soon we were sitting around the table where Viola and her mother, Hannelore, lived, telling stories of the family, getting to know each other. We had such joy connecting. I mean, we laughed until we cried. Viola never imagined that she would meet any of the people whose names she had plotted on her family tree. And here we were, drinking German beer, eating sausage, cheese, hard rolls, right in their little flat in Erfurt, Germany. On the second day of our visit, Viola took us to her favorite castle, Wartburg Castle, which was built around 1070. It was there that Martin Luther hid from the Catholic Church in 1521 and translated the Bible into German. I had never been anywhere that had that much history. Before we left, Viola said to me, "Bobbie, I've always wanted to go to the USA, but didn't know where to go. There's so much to see. But now, I think I would like to visit you and see Wisconsin." I smiled. "Viola, in Wisconsin we have farms and lakes and woods. We do not have castles that are like 1,000 years old." But what we did have in the United States was the rest of her family. So at the end of that summer, using Delta flight benefits for my daughter, Viola and another cousin came to the United States. I showed her Wisconsin, and then we also had a big family reunion in Illinois at my uncle's house. Viola, an only child who grew up secluded from the rest of the world, never knowing her grandfather, was now surrounded by a large extended family who she met as names on a family tree, and we were all embracing her and welcoming her and loving her. Never in her wildest dreams could she ever have imagined this. And it all came about because of her disability.
Oh, wonderful. Yay.